I'm sitting at my desk one day, and my secretary comes in and says, Elder Oaks is on the line for you. And I said, what? She said, Elder Oaks is on the line for you. I said, oh, well, you better put him through. So I get on the line, and he just says, Brother Matsumori, this is Elder Oaks. We are interested in having an interview with you and your wife.
All right, welcome back to Mission Stories. In the studio today, I am joined by the Matsumoris. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They are very important people to me and to my family. They have served several missions already, and they're about to start another mission. They were my dad's mission leaders in Japan a little while ago, and they've always been important people in my life, and they exemplify Jesus Christ in so many amazing ways. And so I've wanted to have them on the podcast, and here they are. So thanks for taking the time.
We're starting by having tears because we love Noah's dad and mom so much.
Well, we love you guys, and I'm so excited to talk to you and learn from you today. I learned in my mission, you get close to senior missionaries and your mission leaders, and in my opinion, that form of service is what defines what it means to be consecrated. And you both, you served young missions, you served as mission leaders, and, now you're going out again. Let's start from when you were younger. What was the motivation for you both to serve your first mission? And where did you go? Tell us a little bit about
ladies first.
Okay.
Well, my mom had a whip. I had to go on a mission.
Is that right?
My mother was a convert, and so she loved missionary work, and she was a missionary herself as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But she did a stake mission in those days. But she wanted more than anything for her children to serve a mission. So it was ingrained in our minds and in our hearts. But it turned into something positive, and of course we wanted to, my brother and I. So I was called to the Japan Central Mission under President Eddie and Chieko Okazaki. You probably don't know them, but in our time, and people our age know the Okazakis because she was on the general board. But anyway, and so when I was called to the Japan Okinawa mission, I was thrilled.
Yeah.
And just loved my mission. And halfway through my mission, the Okazakis left, and Tom Shimizu and Junko Shimizu became, in those days, the women went for 2 years.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Wow.
So I was a 2-year
There you go.
missionary.
That's so cool.
It was really cool.
So what area, what did that cover at that point?
Japan Central was Kobe, Nagoya, and Osaka, yeah. So it was
All the way down to Okinawa.
Was Okinawa a mission? Yeah, and then I served in Takamatsu, which is an island down. It was just great. Everywhere I went, I loved my mission. I had mostly Japanese companions.
Okay.
So because I'm a talker, and so I would just pump them anyway, I loved it. I loved it all.
That's so cool. And I mean, you've been able to see firsthand kind of the evolution of missionary work in Japan, and obviously there's several missions there now. What was your experience like, and where did you get called to?
So I was called at 19 years old.
Okay.
And I had never planned to go on a mission.
Doug.
Because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
So my parents were converted to the church, baptized at the same time I was when I turned 8 years old.
Okay.
And that was in Salt Lake City. There was something called a regional mission that was a group of missionaries who were called because of either language or cultural connections.
Yeah.
So they worked with all of the cultural groups in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And the group that were working with us were working with the Japanese Americans.
Okay.
And so they worked with my parents. My parents were converted. They asked them to be baptized, and they said, well, we're a couple of months away from our oldest son's 8th birthday, so can we wait till then? And so we were all three baptized on the same
Oh,
day.
wow.
FYI,
cool.
his family got baptized about the same time my mother got baptized.
Is that right?
Because we were all part of
That
Whoa.
mission, yeah.
that mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then, I start going to church,
Yeah.
and I go to primary
Uh-huh.
and go to all those things.
Yeah.
Then my mother dies when I'm 12,
Oh, no.
just suddenly and unexpectedly. So we moved to Sandy, where I knew nobody.
Yeah.
And the first day in junior high, I think it was 8th grade, I was sitting on the front of the row, and there was a guy sitting on the very back of the row. And they called my name. I didn't recognize it because back then I was known as Chipper by my family.
Okay.
And they called Douglas. And I'm going, is that me? So, anyway, I finally raised my hand.
Yeah.
And after we got through, after the class ended, the guy who was sitting on the very back came up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "My name's Gerald Greenwood, and my dad said I'm supposed to be friends with you." His dad was the stake president.
Oh, okay.
And he had met my family and said, you need to go make friends with him because he won't have any friends.
Yeah.
So anyway, that started a lifelong friendship.
Wow.
And
To
I
this
got
day.
Yeah.
and I got together with all of his buddies. We finished high school together,
Yeah.
and they were all Cougar fans for BYU.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we used to go down as seniors, and we could drive down to watch the basketball games.
Fun.
And then they said, "We're going to college, and we want to apply to BYU." So I thought, well, why not?
Might as well.
So I applied, and we went. And about midway through the year, they're going, "Well, we're putting in our papers." And I'm going, "Well, what papers?"
Yeah.
And they said, "We're planning on going on a mission, and you should too." And I thought, well, I don't have any reason not to. So
Yeah.
I thought, okay, great. But I was one of the youngest, so
Yeah.
several of them left before the end of before the whole school year was over.
Right.
I finished off the school year and then ended up getting my mission call.
Uh-huh.
I actually got there. I went through a summer too, and got a mission call to the Northern Far East Mission. And back in those days, I was sort of anti-Japanese.
Okay.
It was really strange, but
Wow.
I didn't want to be Japanese. I wanted to be blonde and blue-eyed
Hmm.
and all those sorts of things. And so this was sort of a shock to me.
Yeah.
But Northern Far East Mission, at first I thought I was going to Maine.
Yeah.
But it
So
was,
was that the title of the mission? Really?
yeah.
And he was so happy. 'cause
I
he
was so
thought,
happy because I thought I was going to Maine. And my
You're
friend
going
says,
stateside, yeah.
"No, sorry, but that's Japan."
No way.
Yeah. So it was called the Northern Far East Mission and had been separated about 3 years before from the Far East Mission.
Yeah.
They divided those two. It was Korea and Japan.
Okay.
We arrived in Japan. I arrived at night in Tokyo, was met by the mission president and his two assistants. And they took me to the mission home.
Yeah.
My uncle happened to be in town at that time, so I saw him,
Oh, wow.
which was nice.
Yeah. It's always
Made me
good to
feel
see a
little
familiar
more
face.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And then my mission president was Elder Adney Komatsu.
Okay.
And the two missionaries they've been good friends for a long time, but one was Elder Walker, Bill Walker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I started.
Okay.
And that's the
So
story.
I'm making the assumption here that you grew to love Japan. Rumor has it. You may not have been as excited about it, but it sounds
was-
like it's probably an important place to you now.
it was life-changing
Yeah.
because I really didn't appreciate anything Japanese.
Hmm.
If you asked my parents at the time, I wouldn't eat rice
Really?
unless it had milk and sugar on it.
Okay.
Which was really weird for Japanese. And so, in any event, yeah, it was a life-changing thing because suddenly I realized that there was a culture, there were good people, they were amazing people in many instances, and so I sort of started to embrace the idea,
Yeah.
which I hadn't done ever before.
Yeah.
So it was a conversion in several different ways.
Yeah. I'm sure. So fast forward, obviously it sounds like you both had very, powerful moments on your young mission. And tell me a little bit about, what it was like being called as mission leaders in Japan several years later. Was that something that, serving a senior mission, was that something you both talked about as you got married and raised a family? Tell me a little bit about that.
Where do you want to
Well,
start?
Doug was the at the time. Doug was a branch. He had been a branch. We went to a Japanese branch in Salt Lake City. Why did we do that?
You were already there.
Oh, I grew up. There was a Japanese branch in Salt Lake City called the Daiichi branch,
Okay.
and we'd gone to that branch my whole life. So when we got married, Doug, of course, he had to come with me.
Right.
And and after years there, he became the branch president, and
Oh,
it
wow.
became a ward, Daiichi Ward, and
No
it's
way.
still in existence
Really?
in Salt Lake in Sugar House. But anyway, we were called from there to be mission leaders.
Okay.
We had 5 children. Our youngest Derek was 5, and our oldest Christian
Really?
was 15. And when we got the call, we packed up and we went.
Yeah. Wow. That is, I remember now that like you had a young family. My dad told me all the time, like he would go, he would go teaching with your children sometimes. Him and his companion would, take them to come and help them teach other people. But
It was awful. They would come.
It wasn't awful.
Honey, it was awful.
Okay.
So we lived in this really nice, a big house, and they'd come knocking on the door. In fact, your dad, I don't think they'd knock on the door, actually. In Japan, they just open the
Yeah.
door,
just come right in.
Anyway, he'd say, Sister Matsumori, we're going to teach a family, and they have kids, so we'd like to take maybe Derek and Devin with us. And I'd go, really? Okay. And they didn't have a car. They would put them in the basket, the basket on the front of the bike, the basket. And they would put these kids. Derek was 5, Devin was 7. I can't even talk about it. It makes me cry. No, Devin was 8. Put them in the
Okay.
basket and they would go off. Kobe, Japan, where the traffic is crazy.
Oh, it's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
And I would just turn around and just walk back in the house. Heavenly Father, you're in charge.
Wow.
They'd always come home. So it was,
Yeah. Well, that's good that they
it
kept them
was great.
safe.
And then we had one girl, Misa, and she was 10. And we had Dylan and Christian. And they loved the missionaries. And I think a lot of it, they all served missions, and it was a lot because of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I give you a little bit more background.
Yeah. I'd love to hear about like how you got your call, like what that process was like too.
So I had started practicing law after law school, graduated in 1976, and we were in our early years.
In a brand new home.
Yeah, brand new home. We started out in an apartment, of course, all of those wonderful things. And then it's 89, 88. It was 1988.
88.
Okay. And I'm just starting to hit my stride as a lawyer.
Yeah.
I made partner, and it was time to start
Oh,
building
wow.
a practice, and it was growing, and
Yeah.
things were going really well. I'm sitting at my desk one day, and my secretary comes in and says, Elder Oaks is on the line for you. And I said, what? She said, Elder Oaks is on the line for you. I said, oh, well, you better put him through. So I get on the line, and he just says, Brother Matsumori, this is Elder Oaks. We are interested in having an interview with you and your wife. I said, okay. And he said, when can you come? And me, not being very smart, said, oh, would tomorrow work? And he said, of course. He said,
Wow.
What time would work for you? And I said, well, I probably sometime in the afternoon, and I'll talk to my wife, and then we'll plan
Yeah.
on it. So I called Michi, and I said, Elder Oaks wants to see us. And she said, today? I said, no, I told him tomorrow. What? You told him you weren't coming until tomorrow? I said,
Wow.
well, I thought that we needed to coordinate.
Time to
Yeah.
think about
And
it.
think
And
about
yeah.
it. So we went in to meet with Elder Oaks, and he sat down and said,
So at the time, was he an apostle
I think,
or
I can't remember.
an area?
I can't believe. I don't know.
I think he was an apostle.
I guess if, yeah.
Yeah, he was
1989.
an apostle. So it was 1989, and
Yeah.
he said to us, "Your name is on our list for serving as a mission president." And I'm just shocked, way shocked. Okay. For a whole lot of reasons. But I said, okay. And he said, if this is not a good time, you need to tell us. But we would like you to go now if you can. And I said, well, I'm just started in a practice of law. And he says, I know that. And
He had been a lawyer, right?
Right. Yeah. He had a
So,
similar career.
I know that. And he said, again, if it's not the right time, you just need to tell us, and we'll just put your name back in the hopper, and we'll go on.
We'll
but if you
revisit.
can go now, that would be great. And I thought, okay. So we went home, gathered the kids together, our 15-year-olds to 5-year-olds.
Oh my goodness.
And we had a little family council, and he had said, he told us, it would be somewhere in Japan. And so we knew that.
Okay.
And so we went home and talked to our kids and said, we've had a chance to go to Japan now and be a mission president and wife. And we would go next year in about July.
Yeah.
And would you all be willing to go? Yeah, it took a minute.
Yeah.
But everybody ultimately said yes, including Derek, who was our youngest at 5 years old,
Wow.
who confessed later that he thought he was going on a vacation. So we deceived him.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And so I called Elder Oaks back and said, we're happy to go serve. I've got to talk
Oh
with
my goodness.
law firm and make sure it's okay. And he said, that's fine. And the law firm, I think we'd had one other mission president called.
Okay.
And so I went in and talked to the managing partner, and he said, absolutely. And your spot is secured here. So when
Really?
you get back,
Wow.
you'll have a desk and a place to work.
That's a huge blessing.
It was a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Because Elder Oaks had cautioned us, we're not providing you a job when you get back.
Yeah. Can't guarantee that.
So that's what happened. And I'll tell you that my shock was, I never thought I was that good of a missionary. I'm pretty shy, and back then I was really shy.
Yeah.
And talking to people cold was not my idea of a lot of fun. So I think I did okay, but never really thought I was such a super model in terms of a missionary.
I'm sure.
Oh, you were, Doug.
I'm sure you were much better than you think,
know.
especially with Michi by your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
She'll
that's
make
the
you
only
look a
thing
lot
I said,
better.
well, this will be fun.
No, that's so cool. I want to ask, I think what I am most curious about, because for a young missionary, they obviously have to sacrifice a lot. For most, it's kind of their first time away from home. They have to leave their family and, postpone education or careers or whatnot. But, for you guys, there's a lot more risk with it and more to sacrifice. You have this young family, this brand new career, this new home, this new life that you're starting. And all of a sudden you have to set it all aside for a little bit. What was that, an easy decision for you both, or was that something that you had to wrestle with?
I actually, as I recall, no. I mean, the calling came, and neither of us have ever really been ones to turn down a calling in the church.
Yeah.
And we had a nice home that we had built when we moved out into the Willow Creek area.
Yeah.
Our children were there, but they're saying they're happy to go. We're thinking 3 years. Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah.
And my law firm had said, "Don't worry, you have a job when you get back."
Wow.
And so we were pretty well okay with the idea. I mean, it turned out, of course, there are lots of things you have to do to get there.
You're right. Yeah.
And so, but we had such amazing support.
Yeah.
I mean, when we told people, we had friends who said, "Hey, anything you need," and that meant money.
Yeah.
In many instances, they would contribute and help us pay the mortgage on the house.
Yeah.
Our mortgage was, cause I know this sounds crazy, but believe it or not, our house payment was $1,800, which I know
wow.
now
Yeah.
is nothing.
It's a steal.
But we found a family that would rent our home, but they could only pay $1,300.
Oh.
And we had people Don't
Guy
worry about it.
Fawkes
We
said,
will.
don't
We
worry
will
about it. We'll
pick
pick
Wow.
up
up
the
the.
slack.
Yeah, and we had just bought a brand new car, and my brother took it over. He took over that payment.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Heavenly Father had planned
Yeah.
for us to go. It's
Yeah.
the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, God really does
Provide.
provide for those that are willing to assist in his work, and usually that's through the means of those around us, our loved ones and our family members. When you started, I'm thinking about your oldest son being 15 years old. He's I guess starting high school, and now he's got to go finish
think-
high school in Japan,
I
probably,
think
right?
it
What
the
was
hardest-
that
I
like
think it
for
was the
your
hardest on
children?
Christian.
Yeah, it was hardest
He
for
was
him.
15.
Definitely.
All he ever
Yeah.
wanted to do was play football for Brighton High School.
Wow.
And there was no football at
Yeah.
Canadian Academy
Yeah.
in Japan. So,
And how was the language for your children? Did you guys teach them Japanese growing up, or?
Well, it's interesting because the brethren selected that was then, what was it? Yeah, was it called Japan Kobe back then?
yeah.
Well, they selected Japan Kobe mission, which was one of the missions where they had an existing relationship with a international school. It was called the
Okay.
Canadian Academy.
Huh.
And so they spoke English at the school.
Oh, wow.
And so they said, we will pay the tuition and
Tuition.
fees and everything else.
Cool.
It's a private school. And looking back on it, I go, boy, I'm embarrassed. But
I know. We
the
were.
church picked that up.
Yeah.
And in any event, so we said, okay, that's great. Because
Yeah.
our children obviously didn't speak any Japanese.
Yeah.
And they went and they were speaking English
Yeah.
and with a whole lot of other expats.
Yeah.
And then the interesting thing is there were a lot of Japanese students whose parents had put them there to learn
Yeah.
English.
Right. Well, that's a huge priority of theirs, right? Is
Learning
learning
English.
Learning English. Most countries really prioritize that in the younger education. Wow.
So for them, it was, I think the hardest part was the first, 6 months for Christian?
Every morning, and I get very emotional about this too. He would come up sick. His bedroom was. Anyway, he'd come out of there, and you could tell his eyes were red, and I'd say, Christian, you better eat before you go. Mom, I can't eat, or I'll just throw up.
Oh, no.
And then he said he'd come home and throw up. I mean, it was just always. It was about 6 months, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then how the tides turned.
Really?
He made the basketball team. He was on the soccer team.
Okay.
Our kids are athletes, and you understand. If they can play their sport, they're
Oh.
very happy.
Yeah. It's all you need.
That's all you need. So all the kids were very, very active in athletics, and
Cool.
it turned out that, it was such a great experience for all of them.
Yeah.
It turned out, and Christian, the oldest, we were home for a year, and then he got called to go to Fukuoka on his mission.
Oh, okay.
Back to Japan.
Wow.
So
That's so
It
cool.
was tough. But
his best
the
friend.
funny thing is, he actually really sort of got over everything because there was a kid who was the son of a
yeah.
diplomat who was playing. He'd go out and play basketball at lunch.
Oh.
they had no
And
friends.
So
Yeah.
Christian he didn't know anybody, and Christian didn't know anybody.
Uh-huh.
So they became fast friends
Okay.
playing basketball at lunchtime.
Wow.
Because they couldn't eat because they
Yeah.
were sick. Both of them were.
So they just go put in some more time on the court.
Yeah.
Had a good time, and once he had that friend, it made a huge
I
difference
forgot
for him.
about Carter. His name was
Carter.
Carter. Yeah.
Wow. That I just can't even comprehend what like if I were put in Christian's shoes or in your shoes, I don't know if I'd handle that the same way you guys, faithfully did. But tell me now about the mission experience. Tell me about the Kobe mission. What was it like getting new missionaries every 6 weeks and helping them in their service?
So here's how the kids come into this.
Oh, yeah.
So, new missionaries come in. So our tradition was there was an interview with the mission president, and then we would pray about it and get it there with the assistance of the president and make assignments for the missionaries to go to various places.
You know how they have all the missionaries on the wall
Right.
in the office.
Uh-huh.
Well, we also had a board in our
In
kitchen.
our kitchen. I had
Oh,
a
no
board
way.
in our kitchen.
Oh, fun.
And so we'd sit all our meals, we'd look at the missionaries. But and when they came in, we would have a meal. I'd have some soup and so we'd eat, and then
Yeah.
during that time they would go and have an interview with the president, right?
Yeah. In the meantime, the ones
Yeah.
who are not being interviewed are either talking to our kids. Or
Yeah.
talking-
Sitting
Kinda
around the
hanging
table,
out with the
talking to
family.
kids, and the kids, they're so observant.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So we'd start making decisions about this, and our kids would come over and look and go, that's not going to work.
Can you believe that?
No way.
I'd say, why? And then they say, well, this is what we learned about this kid.
They kind of had the insider.
So they had all this
knowledge.
inside information.
No
because they'd
way.
been talking with them and
Wow.
hearing their attitudes and understanding
Yeah.
a little bit about them. And so I'm just going, okay.
Huh.
Well, we did pray about it.
Oh,
It wasn't like
no,
we
it
just
wasn't
Right.
took one
but
picture and
it was a process
It
that
was.
involved, interestingly enough, those kids
Yeah.
who were very sensitive to what the requirements were,
Yeah.
and they would know. I mean, they'd come into me and say, "No, that's not going to work."
That's so interesting to me. That's kind of a common theme as I've been having more conversations with, former mission leaders, is I made clearly it's an inaccurate assumption that, it's you two, it's the mission leaders, that this is their calling, this is what their mission, but it's almost like a family,
yeah.
experience and a family effort to kind of lead. Obviously, that's not the case for every mission leader, but in your guys' situation, how cool is that? That is,
It was really
that's
it
pretty
was great.
unique.
Awesome, actually,
It really
Yeah.
was.
because they got to feel an important part of what was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And they love the missionary.
Oh, I'm sure.
They love them. They were
Wow.
always welcome in our home. And in Japan, it's probably a little different in other countries, but our kitchen was it was a family room. It was sort of detached from the mission offices. Just how many feet would you say?
Well, it's across the patio and over.
Yeah.
Across the path.
Right.
So the mission,
We went there when
oh
we.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So the mission.
No, it's so cool.
They just open the door, come in, kudasai, and they just come right in. And if we're eating, come on.
Yeah.
And they would just sit and eat with us, they were part of our family. They
Wow.
truly were.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that, as a young missionary, that's such a blessing. I think that, as mission president and wife, they're almost proxy parents for those few years, and they really have that influence on those young missionaries. Do you, reflecting on your mission, obviously you probably had so many amazing experiences, but what is a story or two that highlight from your mission, whether it's with some of your missionaries directly or maybe some of the people that you met and taught in Japan? Do you have any inspiring or impactful stories that you mind sharing?
Because I was a missionary there, right, when I
Right.
was 21. And some of my sweet experiences were to see my companions after all those years.
That were native to Japan.
Yeah, that were
Okay.
native to Japan 30 years ago, when we were missionaries. They would come visit and talk about experiences we had and those people that we had worked with. And
Yeah.
it never gets old,
Yeah.
those feelings.
Yeah.
The Holy Ghost, and just it was great.
That's a
So
unique experience to be
Yeah.
able to go back, and
Yeah.
because a lot of the time and that's why I feel so lucky to serve stateside in a
Yes.
lot of ways, because I've been able to go back and maintain those relationships. But if you go to a super foreign place, it's pretty rare that you get to meet some of these really important people to
so
you.
true.
But wow, that's so cool. But yeah, what's the story with?
Well, I'm not sure I'd tell.
I can fill in. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'll start with this. So we
Okay.
were called to be mission presidents in 1988. At the end of '88, they called us, but we couldn't announce it, of course, until early in the year. Once they announced it in the church news, I get a phone call, and this guy says, "My name's Clark Gilbert," and he said, "I've been called to serve in your mission, and I'm arriving just a little before you, but can I come and meet you?"
At our house.
No way.
This is 3 months or 4 months
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I'm going, and I said, "Well, sure."
Yeah.
So he comes. We set a time. He comes to our home, and comes in, and we had a wonderful conference with him, and then he leaves. And I turned to Michi and I said, that guy's going to be a general authority.
Is that
We were
right?
just kidding.
I said that.
Wow.
He was extraordinary
Yeah.
in a whole lot
Amazing.
of ways.
Wow.
And so, I don't think I was a prophet, but you could tell he was the kind of guy who looked at this in a way that was so amazing.
Yeah.
And he was that kind of a missionary.
Wow.
And it was never like, oh, I'm better than you guys.
Right.
He was always down in the trenches,
Yeah.
meeting with people, talking with them, loving them.
Yeah.
And it was just an incredible experience to
And he
be
continues to do
with
that.
him. And he still tutors us,
Yeah.
really. He's still a good friend, and he comes to things that, most general authorities go, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
He never says that to
He
us.
comes in his white shirt and tie.
Yeah.
But he comes.
So,
Wow.
but he always was that kind of a person.
Yeah.
In fact, he shares some friendships with some people who we served that they taught
Right.
in Osaka. Your dad and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think they were
funny.
companions, weren't they?
Well, they lived in the mission home together.
Okay, that's right. Because one general conference, and Elder Gilbert gave a talk, and my dad's like, "Yep,
Yeah.
that's my guy right
Yeah,
there. That's
yeah,
my friend.
Yeah.
That's so
Well,
cool."
remember the Kozai Chodo experience?
oh, Kozai Choro's experience was
No, it wasn't Kozai. Was
no, this was another
No.
missionary.
it? Okay.
You're talking
Miyasa
about
Choro.
the middle of the night when
Yeah, that one.
yeah, there was a night when there was a missionary whose was a mother that passed, no, father
Father, I think.
father passed away.
Mother. I can't-
Mother? Anyway, so we needed to go. It was sort of middle of the night.
2:00 in the morning.
And we need to go to talk to him because this was going to be an huge impact upon him.
Yeah.
So I went and knocked on the door of the elders, and Elder Gilbert comes to the door, and I said, "You need to get dressed. We have to go tell Elder so-and-so that his father has passed away, and we need to work with him and help him out and get him out of here to go home for the."
Oh, he was he was the oldest son.
Yeah, and so we we climb in the car, and Clark goes, "What are we going to say?" I said, "Well, Elder Gilbert, we're going to say what the Lord tells us to say." It was a time for him where he said, I don't know what to do,
Yeah.
but my mission president said, "You're going to do the talking, and you need to be in tune with the Spirit, and so you'll know what to say."
Wow.
And so he says, that's impacted me for my entire life.
Yeah.
So
To be ready.
to be ready,
Yeah.
to be ready for the Spirit to come in a situation where who knows what you're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's such an important principle to learn and experience as a missionary. It talks a lot about that in Preach My Gospel. Obviously, Preach My Gospel wasn't a resource yet at this point in the missionary program, but it talks. I mean, as do the scriptures. The Lord will provide, like kind of that same kind of idea, as long as you are worthy of the Spirit and you're doing what God needs you to do, he will, he'll fill your mouth with the words that you need to say. And it's so prevalent in these missions where you have to learn a new language. The gift of tongues is so real, as I'm sure you guys experience firsthand, but even your missionaries where, a language, I mean, I learned Spanish on my mission and I struggled with it. I can't even imagine learning Japanese. Ever since going on my mission, I have so much respect for my dad and all of the missionaries who serve in those, more foreign language countries. But what a cool experience that was.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
What, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. I'm just so interested, and I wish we could spend all week talking about this. But if there's maybe another story or two that you have from that mission, I'd love to hear that. And then I want to talk about the future here as you have a new assignment. But is there any more life-changing experiences, whether it was with missionaries at Zone Conference, with people you taught, with your family, that are worth mentioning?
We probably have a lot we just didn't think about.
Yeah.
And if you can't think of them right now, no worries. We can pivot.
There were a number of general things that I can talk about.
Yeah.
So I told you that my children were often moved by the Spirit and their perceptions and their sensitivities to what the missionary was about.
Yeah.
But when we go on the road to do zone conferences and interviews.
Right.
And Michi always came, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm in the interviews talking to the missionaries, and she's out in the foyer
doing the real
talking to
interviews.
missionaries. And that's why I was going to say, when we'd get in the car and start going home, she'd go, "Did you know this about Elder so-and-so?"
Wow.
And I'd say, "No." And she said, "Well, this is what I learned."
Yeah.
And so it was a truly team effort.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We didn't actually intentionally plan it that way, but because of the structure of how we do things,
Yeah.
that brought so many insights that a mission president needs.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're now called mission leaders and not president and sister.
Yeah.
And I think it is a joint calling. It was even then, but
Yeah.
Not as overtly so.
Yeah.
But now the recognition is this is a couple.
Yeah.
And it's a call for both of you.
Yeah.
And you both have responsibilities to lead, guide, direct, and inspire
Absolutely.
these young people
Yeah.
in their responsibilities and to comfort them when they need comfort and to do all those things. So that's one other thing.
Love that.
That's a good one.
I had an interesting experience. We had one missionary who called in and said, I think the devil's here. And, that's a little chilling.
Yeah.
You're going, whoa, so what's going on? And so he started to describe some of the things that went on. And I'm just totally going, how do you deal with this?
Yeah.
And the thought that came to mind to me was, Elder, have you been thinking about the devil? And he said, well, yeah, it's been a presence in my mind for a while. And I said, have you invited him there by just thinking about him? And he said, well, I don't think so. But and I said, well, here's what I'd suggest to you. I'd suggest that you stop thinking about him at all and focus upon the Savior.
Yeah.
And then let me know what happens.
Yeah.
And he called a few days later and said, it's gone.
Wow.
And I the lesson I learned from that is we sometimes focus so hard on the bad things that are happening.
Yeah.
And attribute it to the power of the devil. He makes it real.
Right.
It's not that we've invited him in really.
Yeah.
But we unconsciously start to think, well, he's here, he's influencing me. And if we focus that way, he may very well materialize.
Absolutely.
And so the caution was just stay focused on who you're serving.
Yeah.
And then these things won't happen. Now, that was the answer then. I'm not sure it's always the answer.
Yeah, and it may be different. That makes me think of President Nelson's teaching where he talks about, the joy in our life has little to do with the circumstances and more to do with the focus of our life. And in that context, it, was more of like the worldly things of what we're focusing on. But in this situation, it is true. What we focus on, what we consume online, the things we listen to, the things we watch, they have an influence on our spiritual being,
Yeah.
Wow.
And in this day and age, it's getting harder and harder, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is.
Wow.
Well, there are plenty of stumbling blocks out there.
Yeah.
We're glad we're our age, and whoever's listening to this.
Which means I'm literally stumbling.
Physically stumbling, not just spiritually.
Not just spiritual.
Physically stumbling.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, Michi, about what's next now. I guess, when did you come home from that mission?
Oh, we've been home a long time.
So that was...
Before you were,
1992.
how old are you?
I'm 25 tomorrow.
Okay, way.
Yeah, back in the day.
Dad,
Back in the day. Yeah, 92 is when we finished.
92 is when you finished.
So that's 33 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finished raising your family, had an awesome career, and I know you've served in multiple capacities within the church. Why are you going on another mission? And tell me about where you're called and all that.
Well, Doug has been working after he retired from the law firm. Then he went to work for the church, for the Office of General Counsel.
Okay.
He did
That's
that
right.
for how many years? 8 years?
Yeah, 3 in New Zealand and then 5.
Yeah, I was going to say that took you to
New
other
Zealand.
parts. Okay,
To
New
years,
Zealand. Super cool.
So 8 years, about 8, 9
About
years.
8 years.
Anyway, I have been waiting for him to retire because I want to do one more mission. We're 77 and 78. Hello,
Wow.
we are old. And I just want to do it one more time. My mother came home from her last mission at 84.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But so I said to Doug,
Let's go.
let's go.
Wow.
We have 24 grandchildren, and they
Yeah.
all, like your family, they all play sports.
Okay.
And so we are going. And I think people need to know that I don't know if it's church policy, but anyway, false doctrine here maybe. But anyway, I think that the church will support a senior missionary. Well, they want you to go as senior missionaries, and 6 months is the minimum. is it
Minimum.
For a
not?
call.
For a
Yeah.
call.
Okay.
And you can say any
6, 12, 18.
6, 12, 18, yeah.
Okay.
So we're going for 10
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
from football season to football season.
Okay. There you
I
go.
just want you to know that it's doable. You can,
Yes.
no,
it's true.
tailor we have
Yeah.
a lot of kids so they just are finishing football season
Yeah.
right now. Basketball, we're skipping basketball. We can't do everything,
Yeah.
but we will be home when,
Football begins again.
yeah.
Wow. Well, God really does care about those things too that are important to us. That
important.
seem, not as important, but he wants us to, enjoy those mortal joys, I
And we
guess you
can
could call
serve,
them,
we can serve.
Yeah.
At 10 months is still almost a year.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I love that you bring that up because it's something that Elder Kieran actually talks a lot about is, and you guys have experienced this, like from back when you served your young missions to where we are now, there really is a mission for everyone. And no matter what,
Right?
in whatever capacity, they can find a mission where you can go and be a full-time missionary and experience what it's like to do that.
So we're so excited.
Huge blessing. So where are you going?
Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo.
Our call.
Tokyo Minami,
Yeah.
Tokyo South.
Tokyo South mission.
Okay.
Our mission president is President Tuller,
Okay.
who has told us, I probably won't see you much.
We're-
Because I have an assignment also with the area office.
Okay.
This is for the Asia North area, which includes
Okay.
Mongolia and Korea and
Yeah.
and Japan and
Cool.
Micronesia and
Yeah.
Guam. And so there is a manager in the Temporal Affairs Department in Tokyo for the Asia North area, who is the head of the communications/public affairs department.
Yeah.
And he's one of our missionaries,
Oh, cool.
former missionaries.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so when we were there a couple of years ago, I asked him, I said, do you have any room for us to come and work? He said, absolutely. He
Yeah.
said, if you're coming, you let me know. So
Wow.
we're going to be spending part-time doing that. The area president happens to have been our stake president.
Okay.
And Michi called his wife and said, can you use us?
Yeah.
And I think he texted me back about 30 seconds later.
That's awesome.
We'll take you for any time and anything you want to do.
Yeah.
Because we were worried about the 10-month thing. But
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we worked with him closely.
Make it
and
worse.
He made everything happen, and
Make it work.
so we're going. And
Cool.
That's how it goes.
My point, though, I think that you can do so many things. As senior missionaries, they're begging for senior missionaries.
Yeah.
You can do so many things.
Yeah.
So we're going to work with YSA.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to just end up cooking every
Yeah.
week.
Nothing new.
There you go.
cooking. But, so I've been gathering recipes for large crowds. that
Yeah.
I can make, and
Wow.
it'll be fun. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's so cool. I wanna have you guys kind of share a couple ending thoughts and testimony. But before you do, I would be mad at myself if I didn't ask for any stories about my dad.
Oh,
Do you have it? Do you have a funny story or a cool story with my dad? This is kind of for more of my own personal keepsake.
So
oh.
we have this picture board in our kitchen
Okay.
of all our missionaries, and we have a picture of your dad sitting there. And one day I'm looking at it and I'm going, there's a little shadow behind his head.
Like, no.
And I'm looking at it closely and I'm going, what is that? So I asked him, I said, Lance.
You didn't
What?
say Lance. You
I
said
said, Elder
Elder
Heaton,
Heaton.
what is that that's showing behind your head? He says, oh, I had my head, I put it in a bun so it looks short.
Oh yeah.
We
Mission
thought he was
picture.
a clean cut missionary, had all the short lines there. To find out it was a bun,
That is so
a
funny.
man bun.
Oh my goodness, that makes so much sense now because he told me to do that because I had long hair when I submitted my
Oh my
pictures.
gosh,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, just do what I did, just pull it back, and wow, that is
Yeah,
hilarious.
he did that. But
Yeah, so that's right. I forgot about that.
I love him for that.
Our kids
Yeah.
loved Heaton Chodel. He was one of their
Still love him.
favorite. Oh, they still love him.
Oh yeah.
In fact, when Dylan, our son, came home from what? No, was he? Did he come over as missionary before? He worked at your dad's shop
Oh
in
yeah.
Daniful.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
it
fun.
was so good, so good. But anyway,
Well, yeah, I mean, I extend my love from him and my family.
Oh.
You guys mean the world to us, and I'd love to end what I like to do, and this is a kind of a cool situation because, hopefully, there's kids out there with their call to go to Tokyo, but usually I like to have you share some advice for those, maybe a young elder or sister who just got their call to Japan or Tokyo. What's some advice that you would give them as they prepare to serve their mission, or a senior couple as well?
well, for senior couples, apparently there's no mission rules, so that's really good.
Wow.
Well,
Right?
yeah, sort of.
But for
A little more lax
A
than
little
probably
more
the
lax.
young
Yeah, a little more
missionaries.
lax.
Yeah.
But honestly, the mission is the greatest thing in my life. I would never traded it for it. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you go and you live the mission rules, you love your companion. It's nothing, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Live the mission rules, love your companion, make your bed, wash your dishes. Just, love the people you serve with. You can't fail. It's a fail-proof experience for you. I just loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of things to be said about
Yeah.
this. First of all, do it.
Mhm.
I mean, sister, elder, it doesn't matter to me. The Lord needs everybody. And as you say, there are so many ways to serve
Yeah.
as a full-time missionary that you should not be closing the door just because you don't think you want to go out and knock on doors all day long.
Yeah.
The Lord will find a place for you. There's no question about that in my mind. And if your heart is pure and your desires are strong, there will be an opportunity to give service that will fill somebody's life and help people. It's extraordinary what opportunities arise. And as you say, if you take that Preach My Gospel and you look at it, what it's about,
Yeah.
you can share the gospel in so many ways. In fact, this is a little bit of an interesting story. So they
Yeah.
asked us to study Preach My Gospel. Well, I haven't gotten past like the introduction
Okay.
because the way I study, sometimes I focus on a word
Yeah.
and I'm thinking of the word preach.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a pejorative tone to it if you
Yeah,
use it in
that's
the
true.
normal vernacular.
Yeah.
People go, "Oh, don't preach to me."
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking, well, what does it really mean then?
Yeah.
Why did we choose to say preach?
Uh-huh.
And I've done a little study of it. There's a background to all of this.
Yeah.
It originally was pure gospel, spreading joy. That's what it was about. But over the years, it has gotten a little bit of a bad reputation for meaning trying to tell people what to do
Right.
and to be sort of holier than thou and all that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And so I was really caught up with the idea of, well, so what does it really mean to do? And I think there's a statement that says, well, do this and sometimes use words and preach the gospel, okay? And,
Yeah.
and sometimes use words.
Yeah.
So it means you're the model.
Yeah.
You are the person who is exemplifying what the
Yeah.
gospel really is. In all that you do, all that you think, and what you portray, your attitudes, your humor,
Yeah.
your love of life, all of those things are of such importance.
Yeah.
And so it's evolutionary for missionaries. Every one of us comes with our own set of baggage and our own set of things that we need to overcome. But it's in that process also that we become better missionaries,
Yeah.
better able to teach the gospel of Jesus Christ in a way which people can naturally accept
Right.
and feel and
Yeah.
be totally engulfed by that.
Yeah.
And that people like your dad, absolute perfect,
Yeah.
because he's so natural and so loving and
Yeah.
so caring about people, and people feel that. They absolutely feel it, and they felt it with him. We felt it with him, and those are the kinds of missionaries that are at best. They're their normal selves, enhanced by their love of people
Yeah.
and their joy in just sort of getting to know people.
Wow.
And no, that doesn't mean it's not going to be hard.
Right.
He was the AP in the mission. Well, he was in the office for a while, and then did you make him? I should have.
I can't remember.
I should have looked through this before we came. But in my mind, I thought he was in the office, and then you called him as AP. At the end, he comes to, like many of the APs, President, let me go back out. Just the end. Let me go back out. And you sent him to Maizuru. Did you send him to
I
Maizuru?
think that's what
I think he went to Maizuru, to a really hard place. And I just remember him, I hope I'm telling this correctly, but I just remember him coming back to a zone conference or something, and you could tell he was tired. He'd worked hard.
Yeah.
He was never a slacker. And he may have been, but he hid it well from us, right? And he was always, just working, always working so hard. He loved How is it that some people can just be natural? Don't you think he's just a natural?
Oh.
And he treats everybody the same.
He is.
He
Yeah,
just treats
exactly.
everybody the same. And he was admirable. We took to him,
Yeah.
as you can tell.
Well, and I mean, I do as well. He set the example for me and my siblings, and a lot of this, though, what we said speaks to what you guys did, and the examples that you set, and the way that you led that mission, and the way that so many mission lead by example. I love what you said, Doug, that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's how the Savior operated. I think that the whole phrase of come follow me, or come unto Jesus Christ, that's what it says in the Preach My Gospel. The purpose, your missionary purpose, is to invite others to come under Jesus Christ. And so where are you in that? You're not saying go unto Jesus Christ. You're saying come unto Christ, which means that you're trying to be like Jesus Christ, and so we need to live it, and I think that's a beautiful principle to kind of wrap this conversation up on, is, just live it and look for opportunities to serve and love others, as you explained, and that, my dad does such a great job at loving others. And this conversation really means a lot to me, and I didn't realize how much I needed it. So thank you.
Maybe we needed it.
Yeah, we needed it. I think we're just preparing for our farewell this coming Sunday, and I'm just trying to gather thoughts, and I think of Christ invites everybody to come and sup with him. Nobody's left.
Yeah.
He wants everybody to come, and so let's go, Doug. Let's do it.
I love
Parting
it.
thought is,
Yes.
like Karen said, Christ is in relentless pursuit of you.
Yeah.
I get this image of us running, him trying to chase us
Him
down.
chasing us down.
Just turn around.
Come with me. Yes, I promise. You want to come with me?
Yeah.
No, I love that. Well, that's such a fun way to end this podcast, because you guys are about to embark, and thank you for taking the time to come and chat with me. I know that
I know
you have a
we have a
lot of
lot.
things on your plate as you prepare to go to Tokyo,
But we
but
said we'd do anything for the heat.
well, that means a lot.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining and listening to this episode. This has been Doug and Michi Matsumori. Wish them luck in the comments as they begin their third mission in Japan, and we will catch you on the next episode.